Hello everyone, welcome to Added Trade. Today we're going to be seeing Nifty and Bank Nifty analysis for 27th August, Friday, tomorrow, and a trade review of what happened today. Today was pretty volatile in both Nifty and Bank Nifty. We didn't have a one-way move. Though we went up, it was pretty volatile. One of our trade plans, was in case we gap down and get some kind of rejection or a good candle at S1, we would go long until pivot. So this was the one trade that we took, which ended up being, we made small profits, but it was good. And the second trade possibility was here. We got a very good rejection at this point, where it was almost like a double top and then inverted hammer. It was a good scalp until the pivot, but we didn't take this. This was the only trade that we took. And how I had analyzed this based on the CPR logics, I'm just going to play a video of just to show that we were prepared for this kind of a move in case we get a gap down to S1 from my previous video. S1 region, right? Around 35,422, this area, the S1 that I marked. If we gap down and come until here and get a strong rejection like an hammer on the up to like a strong hammer candle, in that case we would go long here. Long in the sense we would buy in this region if this region is rejected and keep pivot and R1 as the target. See, so our first target of pivot got hit. We got out early, but we didn't want to wait after this candle. We made small profits as it's monthly expiry, but our target did hit. Those who follow CPR for intraday trading, today they would have made good money, even in option buying. And rest of the day ended up being volatile. There were two good moves on the downside, one this and this one, but since it's monthly expiry, right, so we just avoided the trade. Now coming for the trade possibilities for tomorrow, I'm just going to shift to a 5 minutes chart in Bank Nifty. See, tomorrow we have a white CPR, okay, and the last time we got, we have a very narrow CPR which indicates a trending day. Very less likely we would consolidate like this. We might have a trending day on the upside or one-way move on the downside. So let's see what are the possibilities where we can enter. I'll just turn off the CPR so that the chart is pretty clean. See, to go long, I would wait for this trend line to be taken out on the upside. Okay, see, I will wait probably for a break and a retest of this trend line and this breakout sustains above this trend line, then go long with the R1 and R2 as the targets, along with these red lines that I've marked. Even they can act as good resistance. We can see reversal at these points. That is, in case we open between R1 and pivot and break this trend line, I will look to go long. That is one plan, to go long. And the other one is, right, if we just straight away gap up above R1 and this red line at about 35,700 or so in this region where I'm marking, I will wait for some kind of a retest towards this previous day high, today's high, or this red line that I've drawn at about 35,600, and then think of going long. I'll not jump in right away. So that is the possibility on the long side. And in case I want to go short, I will probably wait until this low of today is taken out. That is 35,500. Today low is 35,400. Probably this area, this green line that I've drawn, 35,500. If that is taken out with a good bearish candle, probably I'll short until S1 or S2 further on the downside. So these are the trade possibilities that I'm getting prepared myself for tomorrow. The other possibility is we might open flat in this CPR region itself, the pivot region. And depending on how we are going to reject on the upside or the movement is showing on the downside, the rejection on the downside, I'll probably take a short or a long trade. If I get an entry right at the pivot, see, the pivot is pretty narrow. See, this was a day where the CPR was narrow. This day, August 24th, we had a pretty good up move. So we could have something like that either on the upside or downside. So if we open flat around the CPR region, however we get a candle, hammer or a nice rejection candle on the upside or downside, I'll take a trade. So these are the possibilities that I have in Bank Nifty. Let's quickly check the option chart to see where we are getting support and resistance based on the open interest. Okay, I've opened the September 2nd Bank Nifty open interest chart. We have a good support at 35,500 for next week, and 36,000 is a good resistance based on the open interest. See, the red indicates the number of put sellers and green indicates the number of call sellers. The call sellers are more at 36,000, so it kind of forms a good resistance, and the put sellers are more at 35,500, which is kind of forming a good support. So since there is a narrow CPR, we can have a trending day on the downside or upside. So these are my entries. What I explained, either long only after this is taken out, short if this green line of 35,500 is taken out. This is my plan. And the other possibility is get a pretty big gap up. It's too early to check the global markets for a gap up or gap down. I'm recording this video at 6:40. The global markets probably close Indian time at around 12 or 11 p.m. in the night. So in case we get a huge gap up, okay, there are two possibilities. One is wait for a retest either to R1 or this black trend line and then go long, or if we get a huge gap up, say somewhere near close to R2, if we get a good rejection, take a short trade on the downside. So these are the trade possibilities that I'm looking at tomorrow based on the CPR. We're going to have a trending day. Let's see how it moves. But my view is bearish, and I'm trying to my view is bearish for the market, and I would look to short wherever I get a chance. In case the market turns bullish, I'll have to change my whole view and go for a call. So that is for Bank Nifty. Now coming for Nifty. See, Nifty today, it kind of took support at this green line that we had drawn and took resistance at this red line, and this red line I've drawn it today. It took resistance around the pivot and just remained volatile throughout the day. So we never there was a good short trade here once this pivot was being rejected until S1, but S1 didn't hit. So these are days where it just consolidates. But one thing, I'm just going to shift to 15 minutes in Nifty. One thing interesting is the narrow CPR, even in Nifty. Okay. So this could indicate a pretty trending move. We had 2 days of something like a consolidation in Nifty. So we could have a pretty trending move. I'm going to put off the CPR, and once again we have a similar trend line that can play out in Nifty. Sorry. If this trend line breaks on the upside, I'll probably go long. And the short trade in Nifty is only if this green line is broken down. That is 16,600 is broken down. Probably I'll look for targets until 15,550 or 500 based on the lines marked and the CPR, that is S1, S2. I don't think we will go below S2 tomorrow, but in case we go, there is a good support again at this region at about 16,500. So this is for Nifty. Let's look at the open interest in Nifty. The open interest for September 2nd. See, the open interest is giving a good support at 16,600, but there are good number of call sellers as well. See the red and the green. The green is almost equal to red, but red is a little more. So this can swing either way, this strike price 16,600, but there's a good resistance at 17,000 for sure. and again a good support at 15,500. In case we get a dip, like probably we will take support at 16,500 for sure, based on the open interest. To break this kind of support, right, you need kind of a bad news or something. But in case we get a trendy day on the downside, we would take support at 16,500. See, why this marking these levels is important is, now say if I don't have this level marked, like somebody who doesn't have anything planned and just probably say Nifty falls from morning until 16,500, nobody should go and short at 16,500, because we do have a good support, right? It's not easy to break this open interest support that is there at 16,500. So that's the reason we do this analysis, so that it helps us to take the right trades. See, I do see a lot of people do take these trades even at 16,500 for intraday. They take a put and then say the market didn't move, it didn't fall further. So if we short at higher level and keep this 16,500 as the target. So again, coming for the trade possibilities, one is a long trade if this trend line breaks, as I told earlier, and short trade if 16,600 breaks. And again, similar to Bank Nifty, if we open flat based within the CPR region, right? Depending on how we are going to get a rejection. See, today we opened here, see the rejection was for the upside, so the market went up, right? So depending on how we get a rejection, either on the upside or downside from the pivot, I would look to short or go long in Nifty. I usually trade only in Bank Nifty, so very rarely I come to Nifty, but I keep seeing the chart, both Nifty and Bank Nifty during intraday. It does help. So this is our trade analysis for tomorrow. Hope this helps. So have a good day and have a good trading day tomorrow, and thank you for watching.